Ari Merov of the 33rd team described the Minnesota Vikings as, quote, in a bit of a similar situation to what Kansas City had pre-Patrick Mahomes, aka Alex Smith. I myself made that exact comparison last week, talking about the idea of the Vikings trading up in this upcoming draft for a quarterback. It's true. The Vikings with Kirk Cousins are the new Alex Smith-led Chiefs, even though they're two completely different quarterbacks. Alex Smith in his heyday, if you're a slot receiver or a tight end or running back, you're good. He's just going to make the safe throws. If you're an outside receiver with Alex Smith as your quarterback, well, you're out there just running cardio. Whereas Kirk Cousins, every receiver has an opportunity, especially the outside receivers. He can make every throw that you want to see from a quarterback at the NFL level. They're two different quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins is clearly in his prime, better than Alex Smith ever was, but the end result is the same. Come playoff time, the Kansas City Chiefs with Alex Smith, nobody feared them. We understood the deal. Kirk Cousins in a primetime regular season game or a playoff game, it's the same situation. Nobody respects Kirk Cousins, and this is beyond the media and the fans. You remember the NFL Top 100 list last year? Kirk came in at 99, worse than Mac Jones at 85, which is ridiculous. We got to be respectful here. Kirk is light years better than Mac Jones. But the NFL Top 100 list is voted by the players. It's not about whether I'm being too harsh on Kirk or not. The players don't respect Kirk Cousins. In big games versus Kirk, defenses are relaxed. Whereas going up against guys like Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, they're running around on eggshells. Kansas City, in the 5-year era of Alex Smith, one playoff win. The Minnesota Vikings, 5 years so far in the Kirk Cousins era, one playoff win. Well, Kirk's a better quarterback, and these playoffs, the defense let him down. It's not his fault. At 34 years old, 11 seasons in, where you need everything around you to be perfect, which I made the argument for him. That's okay. I don't have an issue with that. But not only do you need everything around you to be perfect, you also seemingly 34 years old, 11 seasons in, you need permission, apparently, to throw past the sticks on 4th and 8 with the season on the line. Bro, there's nothing left to talk about. I've seen all I've needed to see. Well, they just won 13 games. Don't be disrespectful. Oh, okay. The Kansas City Chiefs, with Alex Smith, their record, 11-5, 9-7, 11-5, 12-4, 10-6. Should they have kept Alex Smith too? Oh, we don't need a quarterback because we're okay with just being okay. Not to say that there's a Patrick Mahomes-like quarterback in this upcoming draft. I don't believe there is. But the Vikings at this point, you need to start taking routine shots at the quarterback position every year if necessary. I don't care what it takes. Because Kirk Cousins, he ain't it. And well, what if he gets upset? So the hell what? Bro, first off, it's a business, A, and B, you threw a check down to end the season. I wish you would turn around and throw a fuss. You want to be mad? Then be mad. Now, next year, because of the opponents that the Vikings are facing, I believe they're going to be in a much better situation in the 2024 draft to trade up for a quarterback if they choose to do so. Compared to right now at 23, which I don't believe they should either way this offseason, but at pick 23, even if they wanted to, that's just an uphill battle. But either way, it's not a question of if the Vikings should start to move on from Kirk Cousins, but rather when. Now, being compared to the Alex Smith-led Chiefs, primarily it's because of the quarterback situation, but beyond that, it's not all necessarily bad. For the optimistic folks out there, much like the Chiefs back then, I believe the Vikings are primed right now to do some damage if they can figure out quarterback. The problem is trying to figure out quarterback, to me, is the single most difficult thing to do in all of sports. But look at the Chiefs back then. The year that Mahomes got drafted, he sat in favor of Alex Smith. That was 2017. They already had Travis Kelce, who, through that season, tallied 307 catches for 3,900 yards and 22 touchdowns for his career. And at the time, we're sitting here saying, man, Travis Kelce, he's one of the best tight ends in the game. With Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football, we're now arguing if he's the greatest tight end of all time or not. They already had Tyreek Hill. They already had Chris Jones, Justin Houston on defense. With the Vikings, you already have Justin Jefferson. You have TJ Hawkinson, two great offensive tackles. Now you need a new defense and a whole new interior offensive line, but for a quarterback, that's a damn good start. A quarterback that can extend plays, that has to be the goal. Someone that can flush outside the pocket when all hell breaks loose, whereas before, Kirk, he'll just take the sack, but the new quarterback that can get outside the pocket, ideally can extend drives, leads to an uptick in more stats for your two-star playmakers. Puts even more pressure on opposing defenses. But you have to take the routine shots at quarterback starting now. I don't care how long it takes. Do it until you get it right. For this draft, trade down. Get more picks. Get up to, I would say, at least a 7 to 8 picks total. Get Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round. Use your remaining picks on defense, offensive line, and receiver. If by next year you're not satisfied with Hooker's progress, go quarterback again in next year's draft. No more dragging your feet at the quarterback position. Mang Wai says, I really hope they trade away all 2023 picks and move up to pick Bryce Young. Otherwise, it's whatever. Now, I will say, if there is a quarterback you want to trade up for, it is Bryce Young. I would jump for joy. At the same time, the but would be, you're sacrificing your entire 2023 draft in order to make that happen. You only have 4 picks right now, and you're going to give up at least next year's first-round pick as well. Still with several holes on defense. The offensive line still not ideal. That and the Chicago Bears, they have the number 1 pick. If you want Bryce Young, you have to get to that number 1 spot. Why would the Bears help us out? I just don't think it's realistic. Fig Nation says, I think I'd wait till next year's draft. I want Caleb Williams. He's him. He's that generational quarterback like Mahomes, dual threat. Ding, ding, ding. That's the option that I prefer. Because let's say if you were to trade up for Bryce Young this year or trade up for Caleb Williams next year, either way, you're going to have to sacrifice future first-round picks. I say this offseason address as many holes as possible to where next year, if you do need to trade up for a quarterback, and who's to say that Hendon Hooker doesn't work out for this team? But if you do need to trade up for a quarterback, this roster is at least good, or at least in a much better situation compared to if you were to trade up for a quarterback this year. But ideally, Hendon Hooker works out. He's your franchise quarterback, and you can use next year's first-round pick on something else. Inefficient says, if you want to keep Justin Jefferson, we need to make some real shots at quarterback. At least look JJ in the eyes and say we took a shot, pass, or fail. Exactly. I'm in complete agreement with you. And you can make the argument that we're damned if we do, damned if we don't move on from Kirk Cousins when it comes to JJ, because with Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson is breaking all the records right now. If we were to move on from him, you could say, well, the stats are going to go down, and that may be true. However, I know this dude is paying attention to Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, his buddies at LSU, back-to-back AFC Championship game appearances, a Super Bowl appearance. Man, these dudes are winning. And I'm over here in Minnesota, and I'm doing damage. That's all well and good, but we're not winning. I want to win. You got to make a move. At quarterback, stop dragging your feet if you're the Minnesota Vikings. And this video is brought to you by Modest Brewing. Right now, they've got 25 selections on tap, and if you're a sour person like myself, that blueberry guava sour sounds amazing. Oh my God. Located at 505 North 3rd Street in Minneapolis. Are you kidding me? I want some of that right now. They're open 7 days a week, damn it. And for a chance to win a $25 gift card to Modest Brewing, send me a tweet with the hashtag ModestTake. If you're Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, if you're the Vikings front office, 2 options here. Do you give Kirk Cousins another contract extension and continue to kick this can down the road? Or do you ride out the final year of his contract into the sun and start looking for the next quarterback for this team immediately? Send me a tweet with the hashtag ModestTake. 1 person will be selected at random to win that gift card to Modest Brewing. Today's Tuesday, we'll say Thursday at noon Central Standard Time. We're back at it tomorrow. We'll see you then.